Have you ever stopped to try to understand the brutal reason why some families can survive betrayals, absolute financial ruin, and irreparable tragedies, emerging from those ashes even stronger and more united, while other families, which seemed to have the perfect life, disintegrate completely because of a simple argument or a phase of stress at work? There is an invisible immune system operating 24 hours a day within homes. The big problem that has driven entire generations to ruin is that your family's immune system may be completely shut down and you don't even suspect it. Understanding the exact mechanics of how evil operates in the shadows of your daily life is a pure and simple matter of survival. If you value the integrity of those you love, leave your like at this moment and subscribe to the channel to be part of the small community that sees far beyond the surface of things. Did you do that? Then follow this vital reasoning. To save your home, you need to forget the misleading image of cinematic possession. The real enemy is in no hurry and does not want to draw attention. It enters homes slowly, grindingly, and silently, operating beneath the radar of your consciousness. The attack begins in the inexplicable and recurring divide between husband and wife, where a simple misunderstanding about the routine quickly transforms into chronic and corrosive hatred. It manifests in vices that spiral out of control in record time, like impulsive debts or pornography, which enters screens and spreads like an invisible metastasis, draining the vital energy and purity of the environment. It arrives in the dense despair that descends upon the home, causing children to turn against their parents and everything they were taught, filled with an irrational bitterness that seems to have no apparent psychological cause. This is not happenstance. This is not just a difficult phase of life. It is the constant and common mathematical operation of demonic influence aiming at the disintegration of the family core. But why do these spiritual infections thrive and rot some homes in weeks, while they miserably fail to penetrate the armor of other homes over decades? The answer, provided by men who have dedicated their lives to exorcism, is fascinating. The attack, my friends, comes for absolutely every household. The crucial difference is not the strength of the blow, but rather the condition of the wall where the blow lands. When evil attacks a disordered home, where there is no forgiveness, where there is no frequency in the sacraments, and where pride reigns, the seed of destruction finds fertile soil and takes root instantly. But when the same evil launches its attack against a home fortified by an active, angelic presence, it hits against the wall of shields and fails to gain traction. The attack does not stick. Resentment cannot leverage into hatred. Imagine the immune system of the human body fighting against a virus. The life of grace and prayer is the healthy ground, and angels operate literally like the powerful white blood cells of your spiritual ecosystem. An experienced priest used a definitive metaphor. It is the difference between throwing a brutal punch at a man in his fullest and most glorious physical condition versus throwing the exact same punch at a man who hasn't slept, eaten, or drunk water for a week. The blow hits both with the same force, but only the second man is destroyed by the impact. For decades, dealing with the wreckage of shattered families, the account emerging from the front lines of exorcisms presents us with a pattern of brutal hope. We see parents crying desperately for children who left home, who plunged into the densest darkness of drugs, extreme moral disorder, and destructive ideologies. But in those specific families that, despite human mistakes and failures, kept the structure standing, who continued praying the rosary, who physically blessed the walls of the home with holy water, and did not yield the ground of morality, a statistically inexplicable phenomenon occurs. These children, even terribly wounded, even after years wandering in the world's blindness, end up coming back. They return, not because the parents were perfect and did not make psychological mistakes in raising them. They return because the immense angelic presence established by the prayer of that house never completely abandoned them. Angels cannot violate anyone's free will. They cannot force a rebellious child to be submissive to God, but they have the authority to prevent the door from closing for good. They can hold the front line. They keep a micro-flame of sanity lit in the basements of the mind of the one lost in the shadows. And above all, the monumental work of angels ensures that when that child finally experiences the bitter taste of the world, comes to their senses, and decides to return, there is still a strong, protected, and standing home to which they can safely return. Look at the history of trials of your own family. When the darkest crises knock at your door, do they leave open wounds, bleeding and purulent, that never heal? Or do they heavily bounce off the invisible shield and, in the end, make your unity even more unbreakable? Stop and reflect on the health of your spiritual immune system and share your conclusion with us in the comments.